Mrs. Robertson, and today we are going to do math boxes. And we're going to do the one on page 268. It's math box 6-1. All right, so we're going to look at problem number 1, and they want us to do a tape diagram. I'm going to do it two ways. One way without the tape diagram, and then the last way I'm going to do it with the tape diagram. So let's begin. I'm going to teach you how to do it the proportion way first. The ratio of bagels to croissants sold by a bakery is 4 to 5. 4 being the bagels, because bagels are talked about first, and the 5 goes with croissants. That makes sense. You all knew that. The bakery sold a total of 1,800 bagels and croissants in 1 week. How many bagels did they sell? Okay, here we're going to deal with bagels and total, all right? Because we know they sold a total of 1,800 bagels, but we don't, or total items of bagels and croissants, we don't know how many bagels. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put BAG for bagels and TOT for total. We're going to set up a proportion. All right, how many bagels in this one? 4. What would be the total between bagels and croissants? What's 4 plus 5? 9. So 9 is going to be your denominator. It's the total. Okay? Now, in the next sentence, we know there's a total of 1,800 bagels and croissants. Where does the number 1,800 go? Does it go with bagels or does it go with total? Total. Very nice. Now, and this is our mystery number of bagels. Now, it's really pretty easy. How does a 9 turn into 1,018 or 1,800, excuse me? Times 200. Excellent. So to get B, you just take 4 times 200, and that equals 800. So the solution is 800 bagels. Yeah, see, now that way is really easy to set it up. Now, if you didn't know how to do it that way, we would use the tape diagram, okay? And in the tape diagram, we have 4 parts bagels. Okay, this is going to be my bagels. I have to cut it into 4. So I'm going to put a B for bagels. How many parts are croissants? 5. So let's keep on drawing our tape. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the croissant pieces. Now, we know that the total is what? 1,800. Okay? So everyone have this tape drawn, because if they want you to do a tape diagram, that's what it looks like. Now, we got to figure out how many are in each box. Well, how many boxes do we have here on the top? 9. So 1,800 divided by 9 is 200. So each box has 200. 200. Because 9 200s is 1,800. Okay? Now, the question is, how many are bagels? Well, how many of those pieces are bagels? 4 of them. And what's 4 200s? 800. Any questions on how to do that problem? This problem is worth 2 points. So if you did everything, you get plus 2. So if you've got all this down, give yourself a plus 2 on that. If not, fix it so you can get a plus 2. The next problem is also a plus 2 problem. And how far did the person run so far that week? You're going to add them together. So the number model is 2 3/5 plus 1 3/4 plus 2 7/10. So now let's add them together. Okay. Now, what's our common, when we add, we have to find a common denominator. Between a 5, a 4, and a 10, what's going to be our common denominator? Levi, 20. We're going to change them all to something over 20. Okay. 5 times what is 20? 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times what is 20? 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. 10 times what is 20? And 7 times 2 is, all right, now we have to add those all together. 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 14 is 21. So when we add those all together, we're going to get 41 over 20. Now you can't forget to add your whole numbers. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Now that's an improper fraction, 41 over 20th. That equals 2 and 1/20th. How many 20s are in a 41? 2. So add the whole number 2 to the whole number 5, and your answer is 7 and 1/20th. So that person's walked 7 and 1/20th miles that week. Any questions? Everyone can do that? Good. If you have that written down, give yourself a +2. Number 3. We have not done mean absolute deviation for a long time. I think we did one day of it back in August or September. It was a long time ago. It requires really 2 things. The first thing that you have to do, and we're going to show what we have to do in number 5. First thing to do, number 3, you have to find the mean. And to do the mean, you add them all together and divide by however many you have, right? So to do the mean, it's going to be 10 plus 15 plus 5 plus 10 plus 20. And then you divide it by, how many numbers do we have here in this problem? 5. Okay? Have this written down. Now, when you add 10 plus 15 plus 5 plus 10 plus 20, you're going to get 60. And 60 divided by 5 is 12. Question. Okay, well, very nice. I'll let you do the next part. Now, 12 is your mean. Now, to do the mean absolute deviation, you're going to compare the 12 to every one of the data points and write down the difference between the mean and each data point, and then find the average of that number. So, let's do step 2. How far is 12 from 10? 2. Now, since it's a distance, it's going to be positive. We don't care if it's a positive or a negative distance. We're just going to write down the positive number because what a distance is always positive. How far is 12 from 15? Right. How far is 12 from 5?
8.
Not 8. 7. How far is 12 from 10? 2. And how far is 12 from 20?
8.
Okay, now we find the average of these numbers. There are 5 of them, so after we add them together, you're going to divide it by 5. When you add these together, you get 22. And 22 divided by 5 is 4.4. And that is your mean absolute deviation. They call it MAD for short. On iLearn, I don't think they'll call it MAD. They'll call it the mean absolute deviation if they make you do that. 4 4/10. Any questions? Okay, now let's go to our last math box for today, number 4. In number 4, math box 4, my advanced class this morning missed the first one. They totally forgot PEMDAS. What should you do first in letter A? Do you add or do you divide first? That is right, and they forgot that. So over here, I'm going to do 1/2 gently divided by 3 is 1/2 times 3 over 1, which equals 3. Oh, I forgot to flip it. 3 over 1 is 1 over 3. Excuse me. And that equals 1/6. Okay, so 1/6 is the answer for that. So this is pretty easy. 1 plus 1/6 is 1 and 1/6. Did anyone get that? Good. Now let's go to the next one. You're going to do the selfish parentheses first. 16 minus 7 is 9. So you're going to have 1/4 times 9 over 1. Remember, you have to change your whole number to a fraction. You gently pick it up and put a 1 underneath it. Now we can multiply. 1 times 9 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4. So the answer is 9/4. What's another name for 9/4? 2 and 1/4. Right. How many 4s are in a 9? 2. How many's left over? 1. Any questions? Okay. What are we going to do first in letter C?
Divide.
Right. We're going to divide. So that's going to be 3 over 1 times 3 over 2. 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 over 2, what's another name for 9/2? What's the mixed number for 9/2? How many 2's live in a 9? 4. How many's left over?
1.
So it's going to be 4.5. Plus, now we can't forget, 4.5 plus 5 is 9.5. Any questions?
No.
Okay, in letter D, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, and then you add those answers. Now, kids, when you multiply times a mixed number, what do you have to do to the mixed number? Change it to an improper fraction. You multiply, add, and put it on top. So you're going to have 5 over 1 times 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4, and you put it on top of the 3. That gives you 20/3. Now, kids, I'm not going to simplify it because I know this one's also going to have a bottom number of 3. Gently pick it up and put a 1 underneath it. 6 times 2 is 12. So I have 12/3. So I have 20/3 plus the 12/3, and that gives you 32/3. What's another name for 32/3? 10. And how many's left over? 10 and 2/3. Are there any questions? Okay, this one is worth 4 points. So let's add these up and see how many points you should have. If you have all of that, you get 4. This one is worth 3 points. So you get 1 point for the answer, 1 point for the mean, and 1 point for the work. And then each of those we said are 2 points. So by the word time, you would have a total of 11 points today. So put 11 if you did everything like I asked you to. You put an 11 there.